Bada boom, let's go defend in the room. How you doing? Hey, what is going on to my mini section? Oh my guys, we can accept it. Y'all already know it's your boy Jordan, the Don Adorno. And if you did not know, as mentioned before on my previous video, which was the G-Fest vlog, I will be going over this specific G-Fest haul of my YMSF figures. Now this is just a part 1 out of a 3 separate part series, so stay tuned for the other ones. But other than that, you guys, let's just jump right into the haul. So the first figure we'll be looking at is the YMSF Commando. Now we all know within our community how hard it is to come across a Commando figure, let alone finding a reasonable price for one as well. But luckily I was able to grab a hold onto one for a steal deal of 57 bucks. And being that I don't own a Commando made it a lot more easier to add it to the collection. Now this Showa interpretation of the giant spider is extremely accurate to his on-screen debut. Now one of the things I found to be extremely unique was how majority of the legs would support the weight of the overall figure and how uneven they were as well. Whether if this was a design flaw or not, it really does add more character to the figure, being that if you guys did not know, in the majority of the movies Commando appeared and his legs would be supported by the piano wires that will be attached to it to create the illusion of the actual prop moving. If you're looking for a Commando figure, try picking up the YMSF variant of this giant beloved arachnid. I highly recommend it, you guys. You will not be disappointed whatsoever. And now the next figure we'll be talking about is none other than the YMSF Gabra. Now from my understanding from my one of my best friends who had looked over the figure and was able to actually hold it, he believes that this is one of their exclusive figures, which would be the more green vibrant version of the figure. Granted, I'm not too sure if YMSF had multiple variants of them, and I follow them on Instagram, so I'm pretty up to date with what YMSF does. And seeing that this was also on one of their deals list of kaijus that they'll be selling at G-Fest, I knew I had to get my hands on this guy. Now just like Commando, Gabra is extremely hard to come by, and though he's not a fan favorite by many within our community, being the kaiju completionist that I am, I was on a hunt for this bad boy, no pun intended. And as obvious as you can see right here, I was able to obtain him for a steal deal of 50 bucks. Now, one of the pros, as a matter of fact, the only pros to this figure that I think I personally adore and love is how vibrant the green is and how well it balances off with the other paints applied to the entirety of the figure. The skin texture is amazing, the snout on the figure is amazing, the teeth that are engraved in the mouth are amazing. Overall, even the choice of molds used for the arms really captures how animated the mutated creature is. Overall, I'm extremely happy to finally get a very well representation figure of Gabra. Now this may come as a shock to some of those who know me personally, because what you see on your screen is indeed correct. Your boy went out of his way to purchase the 1962 Kong made by YMSF. Now, for those who are not aware of why it's a shocker to those who know me personally, it's because I hate King Kong. I despise him. If there was a religion based off of that, guess what? I'd be the freaking pastor, alright? And it is because of this specific Kong is why I hate King Kong, because this is the Kong that beat Godzilla in the original 1962 King Kong vs. Godzilla movie. Now, despite my hatred towards the character, that does not mean that I don't have a couple of preferred movies and designs of King Kong. And believe it or not, this is one of them. Another fan favorite of mine is the 1967 King Kong from King Kong Escapes, as well as the 1976 Kong. Now, for those in the community, we're all already well aware of as to why there's not a lot of merchandising for this, as well as the 67 interpretation of Kong, because of all the legal mumbo jumbo stuff and the copyright issues. So being able to get one, and especially one that I personally would prefer to have in my collection, really does bring joy to my face, and it would also look nice to my SH Monster Arts 1962 Godzilla figure. And last but certainly not least, to end things off right, here is my pride and joy of this entire haul, the legendary beast Wolfman figure made by none other than YMSF. Another cool thing about this figure is that it's the only one to come with a bag and header card. So here's a beautiful illustration of Wolfman, and right behind the header card is a extremely morbid image of Godzilla. But other than that, you guys, this figure, oh my god. Again, as you heard previously, I follow YMSF on Instagram, so seeing that they were going to bring this specific guy to G-Fest, and believe it or not, my knowledge, this is a G-Fest exclusive. I knew I couldn't pass up on it, and especially if it was only 57 bucks, I knew for a fact that this was going to come back with me home to Connecticut. And especially knowing how limited we are of Wolfman collectibles, if anything, YMSF, of my knowledge, is the only independent company that's making Wolfman figures. So more reasons as to why I had to get it, all right, because they were extremely limited and extremely hard to come by, and especially being that this was of a product of a unreleased fan-made film, makes the legendary beast Wolfman a lot more of a rarity to have in your kaiju collection. But that is it for my part 1 G-Fest haul video, you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, you already know, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys very, very soon to discuss parts 2 and 3.